what bothers me though is that, look, I fought Bobby Green and people are like, oh, well, you're just salty because he beat you.
No.
If you go back and watch that fight, I thought I won. And maybe Bobby thought he won. But at the end of the day, there was never any animosity from Bobby and I. I love Bobby. I think
Bobby's a wonderful person.
He is an absolute
Just
stud in the cage.
Yeah.
And he is like you hit the nail on the head with a gem. He's a great person, man.
Yes. Love the guy.
The energy around him and just when you talk to him, he's a good guy, a really good guy. I'm not
coming
salty
from a
about
very
shit.
hard background. See, and this is where it's guys like Bobby. I'm going off on I'm getting on the pedestal here. This is where you look and my dad was in this situation, and you take a guy like Bobby Green, everything that you could say bad as far as upbringing, had a hard time, horrible situations, never made an excuse, just kept moving forward and doing the right thing, is a great human being, is good to other people. He tries to make other people's lives good because he wants to, because he's a good person and he doesn't make excuses. And that's what I love about Bobby. Just a great fucking guy. And I'm sorry that he had to come away with this with loss, but I was glad that he actually got some shine on this too, because he did. He got some shine, taking the fight last little minute, and going out there and look, he went out there and tried. It just wasn't enough for the guy that he's facing.
Yeah. I fought Bobby. I was in the cage with him, and I know he's gotten better. He's evolved. He's he had some ups and he had some downs, but he figured himself out, and he's gotten better as time has gone on. But I remember the speed. I remember the strength. I remember the wrestling. I remember the feel in that clinch.
Mm-hmm.
And I trained for years with Islam.
With the guy that you remember that too.
I remember that very well. And I'm not, and this had nothing to do with taking size. And I'm never, just so we're clear, I'm never salty about anybody I've ever fought, ever. Like I was with Clay over some situation with the gel in the hair and the slippery, but I got over that. That's done.
Think of the finger in the cut.
Yeah, the fingers in the cut trying to open my cut underneath my eye. Like that kind of bothered me for a while. But look, then I started seeing Clay at like certain events and stuff, and we just, he was always respectful, and he's
a great guy.
He is a great guy, and I just let it shine. I'm like, okay, look, you can't carry that kind of anger around with you, or frustration, I guess. Like it eats you inside. I don't have that feeling against anyone, no one, none of these fighters.
Timothy
at the Delta Airlines. Yes, I got that problem with this guy. If I see this guy, I smash this guy. Let me just tell you.
I'm going to smash him.
Man.
I love it.
So when it comes down to Bobby is talented. I remember what he felt like in the cage. I remember the speed. I remember what power he possessed. I remember all of that. And those are feelings that you really don't forget. I shared the cage with him for 15 minutes. Islam, countless rounds of sparring, countless rounds of grappling, wall drills, all of those things. And I know how good he is. And when I tell you guys, and just please hear me out, when I tell you guys, he is the better foot sweep, better upper body takedown. He's also very good on the double leg. He just chooses not to use it. I know he used it in this situation, but he didn't want to lose the position, so he dropped down on the legs, locked his hands, and took him for a ride. That right there, along with his submissions, when I tell you that he is better than almost 99% of the people out there, I have seen him roll with, I'm talking top level black belts. And maybe one round where he had to figure them out. Next round, that person's on bottom just getting smashed. I mean, just smashed, guard passed, armbar defense. Just maybe didn't finish them, but all over them. And these guys are bigger. These guys are competing at 205, 210, whatever, for jiu-jitsu. They're all in that upper group. They're just hard to deal with. So Islam is, I got to be honest, when it comes down to this, Dave hit his record. People are like, oh, he's boring. Bobby said he was boring.
22-1.
He's boring because he dominates so bad. And it's like submission after submission after submission after submission. Maybe this was a TKO finish, but buddy, he could have taken the arm probably anytime he wanted, just would have taken more time. You know what I mean? To set it up, control the arm, all these things. Keep going, scroll down. So you got TKO finish over Bobby. You got submission, decision, submission, KO, decision, loss. That was the last time. So he's 10 in his last 10 fights. he's won. I mean, he's got finishes all through here, and a lot of them are going to be submissions. I'm telling you, he is damn good on the ground, John. He's good.
I think the thing, and this is what people forget, and you're absolutely right, is he's so dominating that it's not a great fight. It's his opponent is defending the entire. Well, look at Dan Hooker. Look at Dan Hooker. We know Dan Hooker is a great fighter, and he just took him out of his element, took him down, takes the arm, made it look easy. So it's not a great fight. It's a great win, but it's not a great fight. And he's done that time after time after time. His fight against Drew Dober, I thought Drew Dober fought his ass off, and it was one of the reasons that I was giving Bobby Green the chance of he'll make it out of the first round. But Drew Dober just got manhandled by him. I mean, it just to the point where it's just there's nothing there. And so if you want to say, is he a finisher? He's a finisher. He finishes a ton of people. And if you go the distance with him, and we're going to talk about a guy that did go the distance with him that is, had a great fight too. Stud. The guy is a stud. Now, can he go the distance with him again? I don't know, but you cannot say that Islam is not a finisher. He's a finisher. He's just that guy because he's so dominant. People are saying he's boring.
Well, the difference between him and like Khabib would beat you into submission to the point where while talking to you, that's what made Khabib so marketable. Whereas Islam,
I can't remember any of those.
Yeah, neither does his opponents. Islam will just walk you down, get to the takedown. When he does, he's looking for the submission. He's looking to submit you. If you try to make a mistake or try to make a submission or sweep or something like that, he's going to end up passing the guard, getting an attack in the arms. Look, there's been conversations I've had conversations with top-level jiu-jitsu guys and top-level wrestlers where these guys are wrestling some of the best wrestlers in the world. Were the best wrestlers in the world that are now turning over to fighting that are super, super strong. And they're like, he is probably the strongest guy I've ever wrestled or grappled with, is when they're talking about Islam. I mean, if you go back there, I think there was an interview with Duran Wynn, who's like, he's shorter, stocky, strong as hell, super explosive. And he's just like, man, when I wrestle with Islam, he's like, that's the strongest dude I've ever wrestled. Strongest dude I've ever wrestled. And that's just one guy. I mean, other guys, I tell you guys, man.
And Duran is fighting at 185 and 205.
Yeah. And and that's the thing is I'm not here to toot his horn. I don't need to. The guy's getting finishes. The guy's going to be fighting for the title next. I don't need to do that stuff. You guys can see it. Maybe you guys don't like him. I don't know. I don't
That's
care.
Okay.
He's a good fighter. He's a really damn good fighter. Bobby Green is a phenomenal fighter. I just knew that the experience between the two that I've had with both of them, and I just knew that if it did get out of the first round, it wasn't going to go much longer after the first round. And I just didn't think that the movement, and I think that Bobby leaves himself right there to be grabbed in the body lock in any type of position. Because even though Bobby rolls with the punches, he doesn't shift a whole lot and move his body a whole lot, in terms of scoots out and cut angles. So he stays kind of flat-footed a little bit, and that's never a good recipe, when you're dealing with one of these guys. So different styles make fights. Big win for Islam.
Yep.
He's a stud and nothing but the best for him.